Welcome to Real Healing with Elena. Hi, I'm Elena, a board-certified naturopathic doctor, functional medicine certified health coach, and someone who spent years doing everything right and yet still felt terrible. This podcast exists because healing is not as complicated as the wellness industry wants you to think, but it is more layered than most people are told. Every week, we go deep into root cause health, detox, drainage, mold, nervous system, supplements, mindset, spirit, the whole picture. Because your body, your mind, and your spirit are not separate problems. They're all one system, and guess what? They heal together. If you're functioning, but know you're not thriving, you're in the right place. Now, let's dive in. Hi, and welcome. I want to walk you through something I genuinely wish someone had explained to me years ago, before I spent over $100,000 in years of my life trying to figure out why my body wasn't fully healing. I'm Elena Payton. I'm a board-certified naturopathic doctor, and I work with people who are doing everything right, the clean diet, the supplements, the protocols, yet they're still not thriving. Something's not right. Today, I want to talk about why cell core supplements are the foundation of every single detox program that I run. Not just what they are, but why they work in a way that other supplements simply do not. So here's the thing. I didn't just read about this. I lived it. I spent years doing what I now know was incomplete detoxing. And I want to save you from the same frustrating cycle that I went through, on top of the money and the time and the years where I could have done it a lot faster. By the end of this, I think some of you are going to have your own aha moment, just like I did. So let's dive in. Okay, but before we talk about cell core specifically, I want to share something personal, because this is the experience of so many people I work with, and it was absolutely my story too. I started to truly detox back in 2018. Like actively working on detoxing. I had mold toxicity, Lyme disease, mast cell activation. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on. I'm not kidding. I was in really bad shape. And I want to be honest, the work I was doing did help. I'm grateful for it. It took me from nearly dying to surviving. But in order to be surviving, everything had to be absolutely perfect. The food I ate, the supplements I took, the exercise or lack of exercise, the rest, the sleep, the stress management, all of it had to be precise. And if just one of those things was off, done, totally crash. I was doing the cleanses, I was taking the binders, I was supporting my liver, working on my lymph, taking vitamin C, glutathione, the list goes on. I had two incredible functional medicine doctors, and I am appreciative for them. I was doing everything right, and still I was just surviving. Not thriving, just surviving. What I didn't realize until late 2020 is that the approach was missing some critical pieces. And when I found those pieces, everything changed. Here's what I now understand and what almost everyone who comes to me has in common. There are four things almost always missing. First, most binders for detox support stays within the gut. They never reach the cells or the tissues where the toxins are actually hiding. They're doing surface level cleaning while the deep stuff stays put, wreaking havoc on your organs, glands, tissues, and cells. Second, most traditional binders are non-selective. They bind to absolutely everything, the bad stuff and the good stuff. So while you're clearing toxins, you're simultaneously stripping your body of nutrients it desperately needs. That's one of the reasons why some people feel worse after a cleanse. I certainly did at times. And then talk about the headache of timing. Oh my gosh, taking it 2 hours away from everything else, food, supplements. I was even on medications at the time. The timing was a nightmare. All right, third, this was the biggest missing piece for me personally. The order matters. If you jump straight into detoxing without opening your drainage pathways first, giving your cells energy, then you're stirring up a hornet's nest with nowhere for those hornets to go. Toxins get pushed out through the wrong channels, or they stay stuck and just recirculating throughout the body. That's when you feel awful. Those herxheimer reactions, detox reactions. And what's actually happening is that your body is trying to heal, but it can't complete its job. It has nowhere for the stuff to go. Fourth, and this one doesn't get talked about enough, toxins and parasites have to be addressed together, not separately, not one or the other, together. They are completely interconnected. Toxins create the environment that attracts and feeds the parasites. As your toxic burden rises, parasites thrive. And if you're only detoxing without addressing those parasites, your toxic load keeps coming back up because parasites are recirculating it, and then you're just chasing your tail. On the flip side, I love that parasites are getting more attention right now, but I see so many people just doing a parasite protocol, ivermectin, herbal cleanses, without addressing the underlying toxic load. So great, you lower your parasite count, but there's still a massive food supply for them. So guess what happens? They just come right back up. So if you're not addressing both of them systemically in the right order, you're just chasing your tail, one or the other. And that was missing from everything I tried before 2021. Okay, next, the drainage funnel. This is my favorite concept to teach because once you understand it, you can't unsee it. And it explains so much of my own story. Okay, so think of your body as a funnel. At the top, your cells. They're constantly trying to push out what doesn't belong. That waste dumps into your organs and tissues, which is going to push into the circulatory system. Then your lymph system is going to pick it up. That's the garbage disposal system. It will carry it down to your liver. Your liver is going to process these toxins or this garbage through phase 1, phase 2, dump it into the bile, and exit through the colon. When everything is working, waste flows down through this funnel and out of the body. That's a healthy, well-functioning system. And by the way, you should have a minimum of 1 bowel movement per day, ideally 1 or 2. And if you're not, this is a huge red flag that your drainage is backed up and blocked. I used to have 1 to 2 bowel movements a week, and everyone just said that's normal. It is not normal. Okay, so here's what happens in most of our bodies. When these pathways get blocked, everything above it gets backed up. Toxins have nowhere to go. So the body starts finding emergency exit routes. Your skin, your kidneys, your lungs. These organs are meant to help eliminate waste. That's what they're designed for. But they're not your body's primary path for getting these things out. When that main funnel is blocked that I described earlier and too much gets rerouted through these secondary channels, that's when you see rashes, eczema, acne, brain fog, exhaustion, kidney stones, bladder infections, lung issues, etc. Your body is trying to heal, is trying to eliminate, it just can't get the waste out through the right door. Now, let me share what perfectly illustrates this, because this is what happened to me. It's my story. Back in 2019, I was doing ozone sauna sessions. My functional medicine doctor had recommended them. And after maybe 6 sessions, the practitioner had said to me, almost in passing, she said, you don't seem to sweat like everyone else. And at the time, I honestly didn't think much of it. I live in Houston, Texas. I don't sweat. I thought that was great. However, total red flag, and I had no idea. Now, fast forward to late 2020, I was frustrated with my healing process. I'd been hearing a lot about Cellcore and their full moon parasite cleanses. I'd been detoxing for over 2 years at this point. I thought, I know this company is reputable, so I'm just going to order it as a practitioner and let's go. I jumped straight into the parasite cleanse. And guess what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No shift, no change, nothing in the toilet, no parasites, nothing. And I remember thinking, I know these products are legit. So if nothing's happening, maybe it's not the products, maybe it's me. So I decided to go back to what they call the basics. Phase 1, just giving energy and drainage support. No parasite work, no detoxing, just opening up the funnel. Well, let me tell you, within 1 week, I felt incredible. More energy, more clarity, more stamina than I had had in years, maybe ever in my life. And I had 3 young kids at the time. So that really meant something. But here's the moment that made everything click for me. I was doing my Epsom salt detox bath one night, which I'd been doing regularly for a very long time at this point. And I noticed I was sweating for the first time ever in one of these baths. And as soon as I noticed that I was sweating, I remember thinking about what the ozone sauna lady had said years earlier. And it all clicked. My drainage pathways have been blocked this entire time. That's why the parasite cleanse didn't work. That's why all this detoxing, one of the reasons, wasn't really getting me anywhere. That's why I'd been stuck at the survival stage. Phase 1 opened the funnel and suddenly everything could start moving. I actually felt so good in phase 1 that I stayed for 2 months, and I honestly didn't want to leave, but I knew I had work to do. I also tell my clients, don't stay in phase 1 even if it's tempting. So CellCore is specifically designed to open that funnel first before anything else. That's not a marketing claim. That is my lived experience. If the drains aren't open, nothing else works the way it should. Okay, so what makes CellCore different at a scientific level? Well, let me explain this as simply as I can. CellCore uses something called bioactive carbon technology. It's the foundation of all of their products except for the tinctures. And it's the root, like I said, of almost all of their supplement. It's the core. It's built on 2 naturally occurring compounds, fulvic acid and humic acid. These are not synthetic chemicals. They come from thousands of years of organic plant matter decomposing in rich soil. The Earth's most concentrated, life-giving substance. And here's what makes it so special. 1, it supports your mitochondria. Those are the powerhouse inside of every cell. The mitochondria is what give our cells energy. And mitochondrial dysfunction is the underlying reason chronically ill people have no energy. The cell itself can't produce what it needs. If the cell doesn't have energy, then nothing else in the body is going to have energy, and you can't have energy. CellCore helps restore that. 2, selective binding. It targets the harmful stuff and leaves the good nutrients alone. Beyond that, it actually helps drive nutrients into your cells. So pulling out the bad while pushing the good in at the same time, amazing. Number 3, cellular penetration. I kind of address this. Fulvic acid is small enough to pass through the cell membranes, doing detox work at level that most supplements simply can't reach. And 4, this is a big one, cellular repair. This is the piece that really got me. It didn't just remove the toxins and leave. It helps repair the damage that the toxins have caused. You're not just emptying out the bad stuff, you're rebuilding at the same time. This is a completely different level of healing. Now, let me make this concrete. When it comes to binding, most of us have heard of activated charcoal. It's been around for a long time and it has its place. It's in acute situations like accidental ingestion of something toxic, charcoal is great. But as a long-term healing tool, it's very limited. It stays in the gut and it binds to everything indiscriminately. Your nutrients, toxins, medications, supplements, etc. It doesn't know the difference. It just binds. You have to time it 2 hours away from everything. And in real life, this is incredibly hard, very hard. Over time, it causes constipation and nutrient depletion. I lived this and the timing was exhausting. You haven't figured that out by now. Bioactive carbon travels through your whole system. Cells, tissues, organs, glands. It's selective. It protects what your body needs while removing what it doesn't. So you can take it with your food and with other supplements. And it's rebuilding while it's detoxing. This isn't just a better binder, it's a fundamentally different and better approach. So I want to do a quick breakdown of these 2 acids because they work as a team synergistically. Fulvic acid is the deep penetrator. It's the smallest, most bioactive molecule, small enough to pass through the cell membranes, as I've talked about. Once inside, it binds to the heavy metals and the toxins, making them water soluble so your body can flush them out, and helps carry the vitamins and minerals directly into your cells. So your supplements and food actually get delivered where they need to go within the cells. Plus, it's a powerful antioxidant. Now, humic acid, this is the larger one, the gut guardian. It works powerfully throughout the digestive tract. It traps toxins before they ever enter the bloodstream. It helps chelate heavy metals. It feeds beneficial bacteria and helps repair the gut lining, preventing pathogens from adhering to the gut walls. So together, from the deepest cellular level all the way through the digestive system, that's the synergy that makes CellCore unlike anything else I've worked with. I have worked with a lot. So I also want to go in a little bit further because I've given you the foundation of the binders, but not all toxins are the same. Not all bodies are dealing with the same things. So Cellcore took it a step farther and created 5 targeted binders, really 4 and then one kind of bonus, each designed for a specific purpose, introduced progressively. Biotoxin binders, first one, where almost everyone starts. It's the ideal first step. I think of it as like the general all-over binder, bioactive carbon that travels past the gut to the cells, combined with broccoli sprout extract and yucca root. This is kind of the foundational or that general binder. Then they have Virad Chem Binder, viruses, radiation, and chemicals. Formulated at a nanoparticle level, microscopic enough to travel deep into the body, rich botanical formula. It has olive leaf, pomegranate, bromelain, artichoke, acai, and so much more. Detox and immune defense simultaneously. Personally, whenever I see chemicals spraying around me, look up in the sky, I always reach for my Virad Chem. Now, next one, HMET binder, your heavy metals and environmental toxins. This combines humic and fulvic acids with broccoli sprout and micronized zeolite. Now, zeolite alone is great for heavy metals, but by itself, it's not nearly as powerful as when it's combined with bioactive carbon technology and broccoli sprout. Together, they make something so much more powerful, and it supports your mitochondrial health while you're detoxing. Okay, now carboxy. This is the most potent binder in the lineup and absolutely not for beginners. Please don't ever just jump into this or let a practitioner jump into it for you. This is really only recommended after you've worked months through the progress and the stages and really have done cleaning. Its carbons are covalently bonded. There's more bioavailable energy. So it makes it very potent and strong. This comes in a powder form, so it could be microdosed precisely. And I mean, like, when my clients finally reach that point, they might just start with like a pinch of it. And this targets your mold, candida, fungi. This one is earned. Okay, and then CT minerals. This one's not really a binder. This is that kind of bonus one. This is a replenishment piece. It has 2 forms of magnesium, which is one of the most essential minerals in the body and the first to get depleted by stress. Plus, it has trace minerals through the fulvic acids. And while you're doing the deep detox work, CT minerals make sure your body has what it needs to continue to function optimally. And here's the most important takeaway. Which binder your body needs, in what combination, at what dose, at what time. A generic protocol can't tell you that, but guess who can? Your body tells you that through muscle testing. That is bio-individualized healing. And it's why I teach muscle testing and I work with muscle testing through all my clients. Okay, so I want to talk about their roadmap. Let's go back to that funnel. And we're going to work our way backwards up that funnel. You can't clear toxins at a cellular level if there's nowhere for them to go beneath it. So you got to clear the bottom first and work your way up. So phase 1 is all about energy and drainage. Non-negotiable. The body needs energy to heal and the pathways need to be open before you can move anything out. This is where I spent 2 months and it changed everything. Although I recommend just 1 month move on. Drainage and mitochondrial support continue throughout the entire protocol. So don't stay here, but you also can't skip it. Phase 2 is getting into the gut and immune. So we go after gut parasites first because they're the biggest critters and they house all those other pathogens and toxins inside of them. You can't fully clear bacteria and fungi until you address parasites. They're sheltering everything else inside of it. So we're working up that funnel, getting into the gut. Then 3 going up, we're looking at whole body immune. Parasites and toxins don't only live in the gut. Some have full life cycles in tissues, organs, even in the brain. So this phase goes deeper into those areas. Phase 4, systemic detox, accumulated chemicals, heavy metals, environmental toxins. In today's world, detoxification is not optional. The toxic load we're carrying is real and it feeds everything else. And then phase 5 is once we've addressed all that is deeper immune. This is for the deepest bacterial work, Lyme and complex pathogens. This phase is included in my Renew Complete program, which is fully customized one-on-one experience with me. Phases 1 through 4 are profound and life-changing work for most people, but those that are critical like I was, we need to go into phase 5. So let me bring this all together. In all honesty, I did this protocol for 12 months and then 6 more months of full moon parasite cleanses after that. That is how committed I was and how much it was working. And now here's what's really humbling. At the time, I didn't have the full picture of healing and health that I have now. I was doing the physical work, which was essential, but that's where my focus was. However, now when I combine cell core with nervous system work, subconscious repatterning, rewiring the brain, and the spiritual component, I can help clients who are as sick as I was heal in about 9 months instead of the years that it took me. And none of that is possible without this foundation for the body. Cell core is the most complete, most scientifically sound healing system that I've found for addressing the toxic load and the parasites at the root of so much chronic illness. It opens your drainage pathways first, it reaches into your cells, and it repairs while it detoxes. Plus, it follows a proven, ordered protocol, which is the missing piece for most people who've tried everything, including me. Now, if this resonated with you, I'd love for you to join my community. Subscribe to my channel for more videos, and sign up for my weekly newsletter for more tips. Plus, you'll get my free guide, Your Body is Talking. Are you listening? And what to do about it before it's too late. See the link in the description. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thanks for spending this time with me. If today's episode resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. That's how this message reaches the people that it's meant for. You can find everything on my website, cleanliferealworld.com. And if you're ready to understand what's actually going on in your body, book a Renew Clarity session. The link is in the show notes below. Subscribe wherever you're listening, and I'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. You're worth the effort.